Hi everyone. So basically, this is quite a strange story because I was actually trying to trace back to my videos because look, when I tried to look back on my video library, it only goes to, hold on, let me look. It only goes to, oh my God, sorry. It only goes back to about 4 years ago. When I look back through my videos, it only goes back to about 4 years ago. Now, when I look on my list here for gang stalking psychology, I just got to find it now. I've got a lot of lists, forgive me. So when I look back on my list for gang stalking psychology, let me just find it here. Gang stalking psychology. Here it is. No, that's gang stalking 101. Sorry. Let me look for gang stalking psychology. Yeah, there it is. So when I look on my gang stalking psychology videos, you can see the video is still there. But when I look back through my video history, it only shows these two, which is why the first time around I told you guys that that video had been deleted, even though I was wrong. So what I was actually looking for was a definitive video that proved myself as a TI or introduced myself as a TI so that I could, so that another YouTuber or another TI could add that as a part of their video list. But whilst I was looking for the identify video that I made, I came across this shit. Disinformation, FABALOCIOUS DEE. Now, this isn't the first time I've been accused of disinformation, right? Basically, what this woman has done has taken minor details and then just like the same thing that she's accusing me of doing, she's actually done here. She's basically taken several parts of my, my username, the music that I use, the stuff that I talk about. And basically what she's done is she's come up with a bunch of cobbled nonsense, like sort of merged together. So this is Erica Maya, and she made this video a year ago, right? So let me show you this shit. I'm going to play you this now, and then I'm going to pause it.
On the topic of disinformation,
I'm going to play you this video now, and then I'm going to pause it on specific parts and basically debunk everything that this bitch is saying. So let's roll it.
Look for a minute at this account here. She's calling herself Serpentine Fire here. I followed her a couple years ago when she was called FABALOCIOUS DEE. I followed her, and she still is called this on YouTube, FABALOCIOUS. On the topic of disinformation, I want to look for a minute at this account here. She's calling herself Serpentine Fire here. I followed her a couple years ago when she was called FABALOCIOUS DEE. I followed her, and she still is called this on YouTube, FABALOCIOUS, for FABALOCIOUS, something FABALOCIOUS. It actually looks like it's maybe a name taken from an old Christian cartoon series.
First of all, I don't know what the fuck this bitch is talking about. What the fuck do I know about an old Christian cartoon talking about FABALOCIOUS DEE? What Christian... Let me know in the comments. What Christian cartoon is associated with FABALOCIOUS DEE? Like, please let me know. Seriously, because I have no idea what this bitch is talking about. Where I got the name from was when I was doing an internship for a solicitor when I was 15 years old. I hadn't left school yet, okay? I was doing internships for a solicitor that I'm not going to name now. And one of his nicknames for me, because he was known as a guy, who made a lot of jokes, and he used to call me FABALOCIOUS. He called me that once, and it stuck with me. So I have been using that name on and off ever since as a moniker. You see, when it comes to short-term memory, my short-term memory is shit. But when it comes to a long-term memory, I have a memory like an elephant. And things like that stick with me. That's where the name came from. So this woman is talking out of her fucking ass. Like, what, like, seriously, first of all, I'm British. I'm British. I don't know any British person, any British Christian who knows about a fucking Christian cartoon with a character called Fabalocious Dee in it. So this woman is talking clean out of her ass. Let's continue.
For kids. Anyhow, called Fabalocious. Oh, what is it? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's not Fabalocious Dee, and yes, it does matter. If you're going to accuse me of ripping off a name from a Christian cartoon so that I can build this whole false identity, you need to get your facts straight, bitch. It does matter. It does fucking matter. Because if you're going to accuse somebody of being a disinformation purple, whatever the fuck you call it, you need to get your facts straight.
In any case, that's what she used to be called. Now she's changed the handle to Serpentine Fire. The point is that I followed her not because I thought she was a targeted individual, and I think this was maybe around 2015. But I was just following a bunch of different accounts back then. People that, I thought had interesting things to say. People followed other people I was following. At that time, I was not paying a lot of attention to who I was following. I was just following people that I thought were kind of interesting. So since that time, she's changed her name to Serpentine Fire, and she started to really strongly identify as a targeted individual. So it makes me think that maybe she is, in fact, a shill.
Why would I be a shill? Do you know how many targeted individuals who were reluctant to identify themselves? Genuine targeted individuals who are still reluctant to identify themselves now, and they only identify themselves by a certain name. They don't even put their pictures up. Meanwhile, there are other targeted individuals who are loud and proud, who talk openly about their experiences, and there are so many different flavors of people who are genuinely targeted by this program. So the fact that I went from being halfway in the water to being full on, you know what, this is what's going on in my life, that is no proof of anybody being a shill. So once again, this woman's talking out of her fucking ass. She has no hard evidence to suggest that I'm a shill of any kind. And the reason why I'm getting angry is because this is triggering me. I literally go through all day, every day of people accusing me of being a liar when I'm not. And now I've got to put up with this shit? Really? Fucking hell. This is exactly why somebody like me, we have to have an explanation for everything. If we do the right thing, we got to explain it. We do the wrong thing, we got to explain it. We have to have an explanation for everything, because people like this fucking bitch, like this fucking Fruit Loop, will go around accusing you of doing things that you're not doing with no hard evidence at all. But let's continue. It just gets crazier and stupider from there.
Because this suddenly became her identity, as if it's been her identity or a key part of her identity for some time. Now, it's possible that it's, something real that was just going on the whole time and she's been hiding it, but I really don't think that's what's going on. I think that this woman is actually being paid to pose as a targeted person.
Paid by who, please? Paid by who? Who the fuck is paying me? Where is your evidence? Who have you been talking to? Where is your evidence? Where is evidence for any of this? What the fuck are you talking about?
Now, why are people being paid to pose as targeted people? I think that it is because they're trying to just cover up the real instances that are happening with a bunch of garbage to make.
Oh, what, like now? What, like you're doing with me? Let me continue. This bitch is ridiculous. She's fucking crazy.
Everybody look like they're fake by association. So I decided to go back on her YouTube and go back to see what I could find, how long she's been presenting herself as, a targeted person. And let's see. So this is 1 year ago. Oh, there's more. Okay, so let's see. There isn't more. Yeah, so this was uploaded a year.
What do you mean there isn't more? I just showed all of you like 4 years worth of videos from me at least. So how the fuck is she not finding anything? How the fuck is she not finding anything? You just saw my online presence on this platform. You just saw like fucking 4 years worth of videos at least. So that's where it ends, huh? Right, let's continue.
Oh. And a year ago, she says, "Hi TI Television. It's been more than a year since I made a YouTube video on my gang stalking experiences. So here I am." So she claims that it's been more than a year since she made a YouTube video on gang stalking, but there's no evidence that she ever made a YouTube video about gang stalking before 1 year ago.
I literally...
She just says that there is.
Hang on. I literally demonstrated the evidence. I literally demonstrated the evidence right in front of you. If you rewind this live video, I literally demonstrated the evidence that I've had videos from 4 years back. You've all seen that.
And when I looked at this particular one, I noticed that there's something about the way she presents. Okay, first of all, there's a weird music over the top of it. I guess I'll play that.
But the reason for that is that,
Right, the weird music over the top. Originally, that a few years ago when I actually took that video, and I'm guessing it must have been 2 years ago, because this video is from 1 year ago. Like, this trash is from 1 year ago. So I'm guessing that made the video about 2 years ago. When I used that YouTube at the time, I had a Samsung phone. And whilst I was using it, I was editing the video with... there was a feature on the YouTube edit, and I don't know if you can still get it now because I haven't been able to find it. But with regards to that YouTube feature, you were able to put music in the background of that video. So I thought, you know what, let me just use some music to kind of add to the video, because what I've noticed is that when you put music over the top, it makes people more likely to listen to your videos and listen to what you have to say. Not from the perspective of wanting to hypnotize people, because once again, this bitch is fucking crazy. I did not come from the perspective of wanting to hypnotize people. It was just something that literally every basic YouTuber does. Like, they fucking put music over the top to keep people's interest while you're talking. It's not a hypnotism thing. It's got nothing to do with hypnotism. This woman's talking out of her fucking ass.
gang stalking is not really...
So I think what's going on here is hypnosis of some sort of trick.
Right. Now, when she's talking about hypnosis, she's talking about the way that my head seems to be staying still, but the rest of the shot seems to be moving around. Now, when I posted the video, I actually thought it was weird too, and I didn't understand why my footage was actually doing that, but I just thought nothing of it. I thought it was weird as well, but I just didn't think, like, it didn't look like hypnotism to me. It just looked like a really weird shot, and I was like, yeah, I don't know about this, but never in a million years would I have thought that some nutbar would come online talking about me trying to hypnotize people. Like, this is insane.
Green or hypnotic thing going on, and that's why it's this type of music, and it's playing over the background, and you watch her head movements.
They're not really doing anything different.
Isn't that weird? What did she just do? She moved her phone, I guess, back and forth. It's like a hypnotist thing.
I didn't move anything. In fact, I tried to exercise minimal movement with the phone, because I know how, the awkward the shots can be when you're filming stuff like this on your phone. So I tried not to move the phone as much as I possibly could. Like, this woman is just concocting shit out of her ass, guys. And then she's got this defamatory content online accusing me of shit. She hasn't come to me with those accusations. She hasn't said anything about that. She hasn't come to me with these accusations. And if she has, it might not have been under her name. So I want to know what username this person was, because there was one Fruit Loop who was accusing me of being a perp. There was one Fruit Loop who, when I made a Twitter post, there was one Fruit Loop coming on my page accusing me of being a perp. So I actually want to know who this bitch is. I want to know who she is. And I want to know what hard evidence she has for her accusations, because I'm getting really fucking pissed off. It's hard enough as a TI that you're dealing with perps weaponizing the air you breathe without dealing with fucking Fruit Loop ass, paranoid ass, fucking narcissistic, fucking crazy, stupid. That this woman has to be one of the stupidest people I've ever listened to. It's bad enough dealing with that from perps without dealing with that from TIs. It's more than bad enough. So now you guys understand what the fuck I'm going through over here. I've got people making baseless accusations against me. More proof in my corner.
I think. I've noticed this with some people that there's ways that they induce maybe trance-like behavior in the viewer by sounds and motions and things like that on the video.
Now, what she's saying is not entirely unrealistic. They might be completely off base and false when it comes to me. But there are, there is a centuries old tradition of using symbolism in film and music and, and literature. Symbolism is everywhere, and it is used to kind of keep the masses under a certain amount of control. But that's not what I'm doing. I just made a fucking video talking about why I haven't made a video in a while. That's all it is. So basically, she's taking factual information about how the CIA use the occult and how they use occult knowledge in order to brainwash people. She's taking research that she's gathered. She's taking research that she's done. And what she's done is she's used that to collate a bunch of nonsense, groundless nonsense about me. So everything that she's accused me of doing, she is actually doing herself. And she's talking about me being a shill, being paid to make targets look bad. But look at what she's doing. She's literally trying to defame me and trying to wreck my reputation based on nothing. And she's making targeted individuals look bad in doing so. With me, when I get shit wrong and when I don't have my information straight, I correct it. If there is anything that I've said wrong about anybody, I've corrected it. Go on my Twitter. It's all over the place. It's full of errors that I've had to correct. This woman has had no proof from the get-go. And it's not just her. There are other people who have been accusing me of being a stalker and accused me of disinformation for bullshit reasons that just don't add up. When you really start to look at the situation, they don't add up. What I would love to see happen, I would love to see the perps around me actually try to corroborate with this story. I want to see how far they're going to take their lies about me. I really want to see how far they're going to take their lies, because this should be interesting.
Yeah.
They're not really doing anything different. It's just the usual B2K on my person, usual gas.
She moves her head back and forth.
This, usual that. But because I've kind of been spending time to myself a lot of the
moving my head back and forth. Okay, should I not do that? Should I not do that? Like when I'm talking, should I just keep my head still in one place and then just like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about right now? And plus I had a wig on my head, so I didn't quite know how to kind of position myself or whatever in order to wear it. Like little things like that she's turning into a grand conspiracy on my part. Who the fuck am I being paid? Like, man, I can't with this shit.
It's not as bad as somebody who goes out on a daily basis.
And this goes on and on and on. And I think there's something about that. And one thing that I've noticed about these videos that are using elements of hypnosis in order to, I think, create a certain cognitive change in the viewer, probably especially people who have been affected in certain ways through trauma-based mind control or, over the years, training or programming, whatever you want to call it. maybe makes people more suggestive or suggestible, so that as they continue to watch things, other things might come out, or perhaps just puts them into sort of a state where they're kind of in a sunken place and not able to.
What is she even
other things might
talking
come
about?
out, or perhaps just puts them into sort of a state where they're kind of in a sunken place and not.
I think you're in the sunken place, Erica. I think you're in the sunken place, and I'm not the one that put you there. I think you're in the fucking sunken place, and I'm not the one that put you there. I don't know who the hell put you in the sunken place, but it ain't me. I know that.
Able to sort of get to the next step. So I find I'm struggling with that a lot, and watching something like this could do that to me, and where I just feel like drained or exhausted, or I just can't.
Did it ever occur to you that maybe you were sensitized to what you were watching? Did it ever occur to you that maybe V2K could program you to respond to certain triggers? Did that never occur to you? Did it never occur to you that regardless of whether or not the person is innocent, like I am in this case, certain triggering elements in my video might actually cause you to engage in certain behaviors because of what the V2K has done and not me? That never occurred to you? That never occurred to you at all? I'll
kind of get to the next step in something. So me growing up, I always thought that I had a hard time finishing projects and things like that, but I think there's maybe something else going on.
No, you had a hard time finishing projects because you were traumatized by abuse. I know, because I went through the same thing. When you're traumatized by abuse, you have a hard time finishing things because your self-esteem is in the floor. You didn't have a hard time finishing projects because of hypnosis or because of V2K, even though I do think that maybe you are a victim of V2K. It didn't happen to you because of any of that. It happened to you because you were relentlessly abused, most likely. Trauma has a really huge effect on whether or not you can complete projects. Like, fucking hell, like, PTSD, like, it's so simple. All you had to do was ask me. Instead of making your own assumptions, all you had to do was ask me. Do you know that not all TIs are programmed to be strictly victims? Some TIs are programmed to be perps. The perps around me right now, for instance, were fucking targets before they were approached. Most of these people have been abused all their lives. So the fact that you will be willing to fucking target me over some bullshit, and I think I know what the tweet was that caused you to think that I was a perp. I think I know what it was, but I don't want to make assumptions. In fact, I'm just going to wait for you to demonstrate some fucking screenshots as to where these opinions came from. I'm going to wait for some screenshots on your part so that we can have a discussion. Because I'm not going to let you defame me based on some bullshit. I'm not going to allow you to use my honesty to defame me. I won't let you do it. So you better come up with a damn good explanation. A damn good explanation. Otherwise, I'm showing this to everybody and everybody's going to know who the fuck you are. Keep trying me.
So this person, I believe, is not... If she is targeted, it's possible she's a, victim of trauma-based mind control or something like that. But she's basically working on behalf of, the abusers.
Again, proof. Proof. Get your fucking evidence straight. If I'm really working for these people, where the fuck is your evidence? Don't be a part of the fucking problem and torture other TIs with false accusations. Get your fucking proof together. Where is your evidence that I'm going to be... Listen. You know what? It would be the funniest thing if all the perps that had been accusing me of dangerous crimes and all the authority figures that have been accusing me of paranoid schizophrenia, and now add to that you accusing me of being a perp, that'd be real funny, because then everybody would see exactly how thick the lies are against me. So I think this video is a blessing in disguise.
That's what I think. And I
Is
think
that the only new thing I can tell you is that the IP addresses that I've been getting from Britain
Okay, so
and from
I'll talk about IP addresses here. I used to be friends with another TI, and one thing that we used to do together is we used to look up IP addresses from our phones to see where the tracer routes would lead. And, you know, according to the tracer routes, it could provide clues as to who were being stalked by. You know, at least that's what we thought, until I basically did research away from that person and found out, well, you know, they can create IP addresses from different places. Like literally, I could be in London and create an IP address that comes from, you know, or I could use an IP address that comes from, example, Brazil, because that can happen. People have done that before. So people using IP addresses from specific places, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to know exactly which perps or which types of perps are stalking you. You may do, but they can easily throw up false IP addresses or IP addresses from other countries or other regions to throw you off. So I was all big on the IP address thing, but then I realized, nah, it doesn't automatically work like that. Not automatically.
Germany has changed. It's now shifted over. Now I'm getting people from Croydon, and
you know, okay. So anyway, it seems to be one of the things that's going on, and you're always, I don't know, I just find myself, I see this kind of stuff all the time now. Over the past 5 years, it pops up in waves, because I think what happens is somebody's making plans and somebody's dropping down funds, and then
somebody's making plans and dropping down funds. Do you want me to actually show you my bank account and see where I'm getting fucking money from? I'm not getting money from anywhere except the fucking DWP, love. So what the fuck are you talking about? I could get on my accounts right. You know what? Let me not do that. Let me not do that. Let me not be stupid. Yeah? Most of the money I get, in fact, all the money I get is from the government. It's from the DWP. I'm a benefits claimant. That's it. That is it. Literally. I'm not being paid to target anybody. I'm not being paid to harass anybody. I'm not paid to do any of that shit. So once again, have your fucking facts straight.
have this sort of sleeper army that they call on to engage in certain tasks, and everybody has a certain.
Yeah, she's right. There is a sleeper army that are engaged in these tasks. The 77th Brigade is a brigade that specifically deals with fucking online traffic. It specifically deals with people online that the British Army believe are, you know, maybe terrorists and stuff like that. You can look it up online, 77th Brigade. Okay? In fact, I think I might have dropped a link somewhere in the past on my Twitter account. I think I might have dropped a link in there. It's all there. So there is a sleeper army basically pretending to be targets, pretending to be, yeah, there is that. But just like there are different flavors of targets, there are also different flavors of people who pretend to be targets. So once again, this woman is talking out of her fucking ass.
And I don't know that everybody involved in this knows what the big picture is. I doubt it. And these people are basically just looking at, you know, I'm getting something new, you know, I'm getting some kind of, you know, benefit that's going to benefit me in the temporary. They're not really
benefit me in the temporary. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you, you know what?
I doubt that they're really thinking too much about the big picture of what they're being involved in.
Think about the big picture. I have literally stream after stream of Twitter rants talking about how the perps are missing the big picture, how they're basically committing treason, all that shit she's talking about, I've talked about on my fucking Twitter. You know what? I'm not going to go down that road and make assumptions about whether or not she's a perp, but I can tell you right now, she's fucking crazy and out of her mind and just ridiculously stupid. Because only a stupid person would gather nonsense like this and try to make a whole story out of it. She has no evidence. All she has is suspicion, and she's taken it and run with it and not questioned anything. She hasn't spoken to me. So clearly she couldn't have been that much of an avid follower of mine, because if she knew anything about me, if anybody had any questions, I would have answered it. I don't back down from this shit. People know me. They know me and they know how I get down. If somebody has a question to ask me, I don't back down from that shit. Ever.
They see it as a game. I think they've been trained to see it as a game.
Man.
It's possible that she was activated partly because I had already followed her on Twitter and things like that. I don't know. Or it just might be.
She talked about... Did you hear what she said?
That I just... They see it as a game. I think they've been trained to see it as a game. It's possible that she was activated partly because I had already followed her on Twitter and things like that. I don't know.
My whole life does not revolve around you, Erica Maya. My whole life does not revolve around you. No perps' whole lives revolve around us. The only reason why it does is because their lives are paid to be revolved around us. And as a targeted individual, my life does not revolve around you and people like you. Even as a perp, even if I was a perp, where the fuck would I have the energy to think about you like that? This is what I'm talking about when I say abuse victims must hold themselves accountable for their behavior at times. It has you in this space when you're constantly abused. It has you in this narcissistic space of thinking everything that they fucking do is about you. I shouldn't have to come online and explain that I'm not a perp. Not after the shit that I've been through and not after the shit that I've shown everybody. I shouldn't have to come online and explain that I'm not a perp. But apparently I do. My life does not revolve around the Erica Myers of the world. Not even the perps' lives revolve their lives around me. There's only like a handful of perps really who are obsessed with me because they want to win at everything. But apart from that, the other perps are just getting paid and they just want to do a bit of gaslighting, then piss off and get on with the rest of their lives. So even as a perp, even if you wanted to accuse me of being a perp, your argument doesn't hold up. The fact that I'm even dignifying any of this with a response, I'm ashamed of myself. I'm ashamed of myself, and it makes me feel dirty that I even have to try to it disgusts me. It really, really does. It really, really does. You couldn't find any other evidence. I'm gonna need you to piss all the way off. Serious.
It just might be that I was fortunate in that I happened to follow somebody on Twitter who later on was activated in this way, and so I could see how that happened.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Man, this gang stalking program is the gift that keeps on giving. It's absolutely crazy. Like, I shouldn't have been so vicious, because for all I know, she could be a genuine TI. There have been genuine TIs who have accused me of being a gang stalker before based on my behavior. Okay, but again, there are different flavors of TIs out there. There are different flavors of targeted individuals. and making assumptions based on how unique or how differently a person acts in comparison to other targeted individuals is playing the same game as the fucking handlers. It's playing the same game as the fucking perps. They're different, and therefore they must not be trusted. Now, again, she's not the only person who's accused me of being a disinformation agent. There are at least, how many people? There are at least 3 other people who have accused me of being a disinformation agent. There was one person on Facebook who accused me of being a disinformation agent based on me sharing a video created by Sweet Ma for Life about Tasha K. I'm not even kidding. This person accused me of being a Masonic agent based on that. There are people who have accused me of being a hacker or being a stalker because, you know, there was a Facebook thing online saying, you know, if somebody puts admin as their nickname or something like that, then they'll show up as a Facebook administrator. Now, just for fun, I decided to do it. Next thing I know, I've got an influx of people accusing me of stalking them or hacking them. Like, these are people I don't know from a can of paint. So these are not the first people to accuse me of lying and to accuse me of being a disinformation agent. But the thing is, that might actually work in my favor. Because if I've got Brent Mind and mental health services and the police accusing me of being a paranoid schizophrenic with delusions, and I've got the perps accusing me of being a dangerous criminal, and I've got TIs accusing me of being a shill, working for the same people that are accusing me of being a dangerous criminal, then it really goes to show how many lies and how many mistruths are being told about me. And it actually demonstrates that, you know what, I am a genuine TI. Because there are a lot of lies about me funneled from a lot of different places. And when you start to examine them all to their nth degree, they don't add up. So as much as this video upset me, as much as I was pissed off listening to that idiotic bullshit, I'm glad that video is up. I would never ask her to take it down. The only thing I would ask is, run me your evidence. I'm not asking you to take the video down, but I want to see evidence. But anyway, that's all I wanted to show you for now. This is getting really interesting. But I will see you guys later. Take care.